It's so helpful. So everybody that's spoken this weekend has kind of spoken about different parts of the song "So Will I," and I debated on two different parts, and it's in one verse. So I'm just going to talk about both. And the part of the song that I'm talking about, it says, "God of salvation, you chase down my heart through all of my failure and pride." So I worked for Mother's Day Out for about 5 years, and I named a little boy that's autistic for about 3. And I just, I loved what I did. I didn't ever think that I would change. I honestly, looking big picture to the future, saw that he would be he was 8 when I started nannying him. I figured he'd be 20 and I'd still be nannying him, because that was just, that's how happy I was where I was at. And then the first year that we went to camp, I went, and it was definitely a crazy year for me, because that was the first time that I really ever stepped out and did something as a leader, not just kind of the behind the scenes in the kitchen and stuff. I think I probably cried. Every night, because that's just that God was definitely getting a hold of me and showing me, opening my eyes to things that I really wasn't even sure if I believed yet. And I knew I loved the little boy that I nannied, but I never thought that this would be my whole world. And I went down to the altar one night, and God definitely placed a calling on my heart for special needs ministry. And I definitely kind of questioned God about, why would you call me? I've kept one kid. I have no idea what I'm doing. What does that even look like? I've never even seen, I did children's church for a really long time, but I've never really gone and seen, what a special needs ministry would even look like. And I finally, surrendered and said, in your time, I'll do what you want me to do. And I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that the best way to go about that, to really learn how to handle and deal with those kids, would be to work at the school that he went to, which is called Including Kids, and it's one-on-one therapy for autism. And I just didn't feel like it was my time. Well, I nannied and worked at Mother's Day Out for a few more years. And I just got to the point that I felt like I'm somebody that's all in with what I do. I don't do just a little bit here and a little bit there. It's all or nothing for me. And me working at Mother's Day Out, I was coming in late and I was leaving early. And the nannying stuff, I wasn't able to do their stuff at school during the day. But neither one was getting my all. And I prayed about it, and I said, God, I hate feeling like I'm not giving enough to either one. What do I do? And I talked to the lady, to the boy's mom, and asked and told her, I want to be all in for you, but in order to do that, I have bills to pay. I need you to pay me more. And she ended up not being able to do it, so I stayed at Mother's Day Out, and it was like there was a hole in my heart. I knew that I was missing something. And I was sitting and talking to Rhonda and Robin, and they both basically said, you know what you need to do. You need to apply for this job. The worst that can happen is they tell you no, then you don't go anywhere. That's fine. Guys, how many bosses are going to tell you, you're one of the most valuable people that we have working for us, but go and do what God is calling you to do? I can't even begin to tell you how very blessed I feel to have had Rhonda for a boss for as many years as I have. So I was like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll fill it out, whatever. Well, I went over to Robin's house, and I was too nervous, so she asked me questions and wrote my whole resume, and we put it, there's an online thing that you submit it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it, and she just hit submit, and I was furious, because I was like, no, I'm not ready for this change. I'm not ready to give up. It was really easy for me to work at Mother's Day Out. I've been doing it for 5 years. I definitely knew what I was doing there. And then I applied and I waited. And I waited and I worried and I was like, I need an answer now. And I cried and I kept talking to people about it. But it was when I finally was like, well, what's going to happen is what's going to happen. If it's God's time, it's God's time. And if it's not, it's not. The next day I got the phone call that I should come in for an interview.
Wow.
And then it took them a while after the interview to decide, but I started October 1st. And when I got the call that I got the job, I was very prideful about it. I was like, look what I did. Look. Because they hire people that have degrees, and I had nothing. I said, look what kind of job I got. Look what I can do. And let me tell you, I got there with those kids, and I think I cried every day, multiple times a day. Like crazy aggressive stuff, kids running away from me. It was all over the place, and I just got to the point. I went home one night, and I was like, God, I can't keep doing this. I can't work here. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, there's all these people that have gone to college and have all these degrees, and I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, there's no way this is where I'm supposed to be. And it was when I finally just, like, truly, I laid and I listened to worship music and truly just wept at his feet. And I had not talked to Rhonda about how my job was going at all. Like, I don't think you had even, like, good or bad one way or another. And Rhonda, on October 16th at 7 o'clock in the morning, texted me out of the blue and says, God is developing a skill set in you. Trust in him. Don't be anxious, but know that he has called you to it and he will sustain you through it. Not by power, not by strength, but by his Spirit. And it was just the way that God uses you when you are truly open to it. I can't tell you what those words meant to me at the time. I was lost, and I was trying to do it by my own strength. I was very prideful, and I was failing so epically. I was terrible. It was terrible. It was horrible. Just the fact that when I truly surrendered, God placed these perfect words on my heart that I have them posted on my board at work. Like, I look at those words every day and pray those words over my day, and I just pray that, God, like, equip me to what you're calling me to. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that at that altar in Indiana that this is the calling that you've laid on my life. Don't let me miss it because I'm overthinking it and worrying about it. And just to know that, he created Rhonda to know and knew at that exact time that that's what would happen. And that brings me to the other part of the song that I was talking about, which is, on a hill you created, the light of the world abandoned in darkness to die. I don't know if you've really ever thought about the gravity of that God knew when he created that hill what would happen on that hill. He knew when he created the tree that made the cross that Jesus was crucified on. He knew what that tree would do. He knew what the metal of the nails would do. He knew what the wood of this podium would make. And he knew the very message that I would be speaking today. And I just want to tell you that he did it all for you, for the one. And if one of you, just one of you, hears this message and is changed by it, then it's so worth it. It's so worth the praying and the worrying and the crying and asking to God to give you the perfect words to say. If just one of you gets something from it, it's all worth it.